Alright, Lantis. Here's the deal. I have been watching your YouTube videos while playing Path of Exile for the better part of 5 or more years. And we have not done anything, like, big and on purpose since, like, the Calamity Mod playthrough. And I wanted to give myself the opportunity to play this in a way that made something. I want to produce something with it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Craft of Exile. I'm going to record videos. Maybe I'll be farming. Maybe I'll be talking about something I care about. Maybe I'll be pontificating. There's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to be talking. I'm going to be talking a whole bunch, and this is going to be the subtext around it. So even if the idea of Craft of Exile doesn't tickle your pickle, you do still have me to talk to, I guess, maybe? I don't know. Hard to say. Anyway, if you ever played Windcraft, this is going to be a very similar kind of setup. You have classes, you have skills, you have talent trees, you have gear, Brave New World. Very important for any play session. We'll do close sleet 090. Beef can rocket ship. I feel like if you don't like mess around with your seed, are you really playing Minecraft? Anyway, so this is a lot like Windcraft. There's classes, there's items. I'm gonna go through the prologue book. Just kind of to explain some of the mechanics and maybe try to get you invested in the idea of a playthrough. And one of the most famous YouTubers to ever exist was the Vlog Brothers on YouTube with Hank and John Green. One ended up becoming an author, and the other one became I'm hoping that you recognize as one of the most popular like education creators to ever exist. And if hypothetically you wanted to also post something at me as like a back and forth thing, that would be cool. If you don't have the time, that's okay too. But I thought I would give it as an option. And then also, just to kind of give you an idea of how I'm doing. I am going to be 30 in like, oh gosh, less than 2 weeks now. I'm working as a CNA in a nursing home. I take care of old people who are pooping themselves a lot. I have taken in the last week to referring to my place as the poop factory because man, there's a lot of poop. But there's old people who are in like the later half of their years and they need help, and I'm usually the person who helps them. Sometimes the nurse will give some stuff, but I'm going to school to be a nurse, and I'm going to start that school in the fall. I have been doing the CNA gig for like 5 years, but professionally, that's kind of where I am. It makes okay money, not a lot of money, not a lot, not it's like maybe like $21 an hour on a good day. It's pretty consistent. So. Anyway, I am in a poly couple right now with Max, who is my girlfriend, who is trans, and this other guy. His name is Thor. He plays a lot of Xbox. We've been living in the same house since October, ever since a hurricane kind of wiped out their house. I was asked, and I answered the call. And it was nice because I had been living with my mom for like a long time. I've learned now, and I think maybe that you have too, is the only way that we can, like our generation can kind of go out of an existing house is to cohabitate with somebody. Anyway, so here we are. This is Craft of Exile 2. My frame rate will fill in as I get more and more chunks loaded. But the long and short of this mod pack is that we are playing an MMO, kind of. I have a book. This book is going to be kind of the one thing I keep with me the whole entirety of my playthrough. And I'm just going to get basic wood tools while I kind of explain this. So anyway, so this is all like Windcraft. There is a lot of like animations and stuff, which has been nice. Anyway, I was talking about my career and the fact that I'm getting to be 30. So anyway, yeah, so if you don't cohabitate, it's really hard to like move out. And right now, I'm able to keep my rent at around like $500, $600 rent, like my portion of utilities as well. So that's been really nice. Yeah. I will say, like, my girlfriend does not do the dishes very well. But she's lovely, and I can. It's nice to have someone to hug after you work for a long amount of hours. The beginning of Minecraft. The beginning of an adventure, which is going to be very complicated, as I'm sure you will very quickly pick up on. The different classes in this game are pretty stark. And I'm not sure what the balancing looks like long term, but I am going to either play a trap build, a summoner build, or a totem build. I played a totem build in Windcraft, which was pretty successful. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking. Ooh, what am I doing? So, we are thinking about getting a new dog. I think I have the video unlisted, and you can look at it if you want, if like you ask. But anyway, the house that we moved into was previously the property of an old lady that was Thor's grandma, and she left, and she wanted to have the house sold. But what the fuck? Flying fish. All right. Anyway, this is gonna hurt me, isn't it? Nope. He's just there. That's cute. Okay. So anyway, the situation that I was dealing with was like rent would be impossible. Like I looked at Zillow and like a lot of places, like how I was gonna get out of my house, and the rent was like at least $1,650, which is insane because I only make like maybe $2,150 a month. So the ability to split rent 3 ways, very helpful, and then the ability to live with someone was really nice. So I'm glad that you guys both are able to pick up stuff on your side, because the economy is not great. Anyway, and I'm doing like work that requires a license. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a college degree, but it's still something. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where I am. Like medium to long term, going to school again. I feel like for a long time I had to take care of my mom, and now that William and Laurel are in that area, I have the ability to kind of unfurl my wings and like do something. Because I had to keep that lady from dying like multiple times from just the most insane shit you can imagine. Like I think the most recent event was she wanted to replace the garage door that she had in the garage to protect a smoker that she got, and she like went to Home Depot and she got a kit and just assumed the kit would be all she needed. Incorrect assumption. You need like a lot of tools and such to get your things in order. And anyway, she took a Phillips head screwdriver to the fasteners for garage, and then it came undone um, basically in front of her. So she fell off of a 6-foot ladder onto the ground. Ended up, I had to drive her to the hospital because she broke her nose and she was bleeding everywhere. The people in the hospital were like, "Hey, so if you're really lucky to be alive, because if this had gone anywhere uh, else on your body, you would not be here talking to us right now." So that was very. Oh right, I learned this in the second playthrough. All the NPCs are crying. I don't know why. I have to get away from town. It's depressing. Anyway, so now I'm getting text messages from my brother and sister, and they're like, "So mom found an egg that she located in a like in a park on the ground, and she wants us to cook and eat it." And we had to explain to her that that's not safe and that lizard eggs are not edible. They're actually poisonous. And she was very, very, very butt frustrated about that, but that's the way that she kind of operates. And I've kind of been at her beck and call for a while, and it's only since like October I've actually been able to like get out and go do things. Yeah. So it's been nice. I have a bunch of personal problems that I'm sure that I will talk about eventually, but I thought this was kind of like an optimistic thing that I'm starting to do. So I'm thinking I have gathered a lot of the basic stuff that I need in order to survive. I have enough cobblestone to make a decent pickaxe. And this is another material called basalt, which I'm collecting. Anyway, so my big thing right now is kind of figuring out home life between the three of us. Like, right now I'm ordering, like I'm making food, or I'm going to go pick up something at Wawa for Max at like really short notice. She doesn't really cook or clean, but I think I'm probably codependent, and I'm working on that. I gotta have somebody that I can be with. Anyway, so okay, making the very basic stuff. Basic Minecraft things. It's the same every time. Make a nice log, so we can get some coal. I'm not sure what basalt is used for, but this should keep us alive through the first night at least, while I am figuring out all of the different mechanics that exist in this game. And there are a lot. I've only went through the prologue, but we'll kind of see as we get along. So we'll kneel down for a little while, and then we'll open our book. So this is Craft of Exile 2. As with any mod pack, Questy is really, really helpful for like emergent gameplay. The game says you can visit our wiki, which you can also find a link to in the main menu. It's not amazing, okay, at all. It is, the quest book is really the shining example of a thing that exists for picking stuff up. There is VR support. I will likely not be using it. There is money for trading with villagers. Very cool. Keybinds for the different skills that we'll be using. And then there is the Mine and Slash mod pack, which is kind of the, I would say, the core gameplay loop that we're working around right now. There's, of course, party play and land claiming for multiplayer servers, but I couldn't get a lot of people to come with me because ARPGs like this, they're magnets for people with autism, and I think I have it. So anyway, There's a talent tree. I'm sure you've seen the Path of Exile one. I've probably shown it to you in a stream. There is a similar one here, but this is the main interface. So we have strength, intelligence, dexterity. We have a bunch of different classes with skill trees, very similar to Windcraft if you've ever been there. And then we were looking at, I want to say traps, but I have to remember where that is. Yep. Cool. So we have trap damage. Death trap. Ooh. Okay. Let's make some torches. And then we will close up our little box. Because I have already had a brush with the mobs in this pack, and they are not slouches by any approximation. Cool. Not quite a dirt box, right? Anyway, there's your first weapon. So I think as far as like classes are concerned, I've looked at like a lot of the different ones, and throwing daggers sounded super dope. I love that. And they had like snipe, which was something. I am thinking that just a regular archer would be boring, but the only damage totem that I was able to see was like up here at flamethrower totem. There's a bard with spells, there's a summon one, and there's a chaos person. I like the idea of summons, which could be interesting. Summon Wisp. Undying Will is melee. Cold Snap, Time Winder, Zap. There's a lot of different options here, right? Let's see. Okay, so this is like mana regen. Required level 25. So I think just to start out with, I am going to do, let's see, I could do anything. The whole world is my oyster here. I'm thinking thinking shaman. And then I'm probably going to go with a totem setup. Maybe. Maybe. Definitely not Chronomancer. Definitely not Fighter. You know what? I think I'm going to do Acid Blast. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with an Acid Blast, and we are going to go with our skill hotbar on Acid Blast. Homing balls of poison that deal 2 damage of chaos damage. That can poison. And then we will do... Oh. We'll move on. And for our weapon, we want to get a caster weapon, which is going to be a rare staff, I think. So yeah. And then there are gear stat souls. So the way they kind of bridge the gap here is that you can craft gear, and then that gear gets a soul as like a separate item that you apply onto it, and that will give it stats. So for comparison's sake, we will throw a lot of the stuff into the backpack. Make sure we have everything. Yep, there we go. So there's a gear stat soul, which we can fuse into gear, and then it makes a fillet knife, which I cannot equip, so I have to... There you go. So it requires dexterity and intelligence, but gives you a thing. So that's handy. Now, of course, we were kind of going with a bunch of different gear. Weapon damage. This is probably our caster weapon, but we need to have 2 intelligence, so we're going to fix our stats real quick. There we go. And then we'll go to our classes. We have a passive point, but we cannot apply that because we are a warlock. Yeah, and we have 5 skill points in first. Or level 5. I think it's level 5. Yeah. Alright. And then we go to our talents. And we will go for the staff. And it's going to open up a lot of the tree here. So we have magic skill damage, intelligence, or magic shield. I'm going to go with just a flat increase to my damage. I don't really need cast speed yet. But these nice flat bonuses are really helpful. And I have looked at a lot of stuff for chaos damage builds, so I should be fine navigating this build. Yeah, spell damage. Yeah. Amount of skill damage. Poison is an option as well. And then we'll go over some of the defensive stuff. Probably not going to crit too much. But anyway, so now that you can see, we have a skill that we've selected. And there's a lot of like respec points. So when I like reach a higher level that supports a different kind of skill, I can use it. But we're just going to go with our Moonstaff. And we'll see there's already a zombie bruiser. Ooh. Could not tell you what the life of me for what some of these abilities do, but anyway. I got mana to spend. So a lot of these skills are also going to have some kind of like skill gems that get attached to them, and we'll kind of see as the game ends up playing out how that's going to work. But we're going to go for poison, chaos damage over time. We're gonna be a necromancer, or a warlock anyway. So we're gonna go back to our book. Combat. Killing a zombie they want us to do. We can do that immediately. That's not a problem. Very cool. Spells are generally better than weapon attacks because, at least in Path of Exile, because they mostly rely on spell level, which we don't have a problem with because we just have a lot smoother of a leveling experience, if that makes sense. Also, probably going to make my own music after the first episode, because while this is authentic PoE music, I have been listening to it for years, and at a certain point it gets repetitive. It's not like sea shanty from like RuneScape, you know what I mean? Anyway, so as you can see, there's lots of different mobs, lots of different effects on the ground, things like that. But I decided to go with Singed from League of Legends as my character inspiration. So, yeah. Back to our book. There are support gems. We talked about that. None of these are good for us, though. Mana regen augment is going to be good. The spell bar we've already set up. Suit up is for gear. We're going to go with cloth and go for magic shield. So, Seraphim, 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 and Seraphim. So now you'll see, kind of on the top left, we have that like recharging energy shield, and that is going to deal with a lot of our upfront damage. See, I have like a bit of a range there. That's all right. And the mana cost is not too terribly high. All right. And then I did want to quickly look at our warlock setup here. So, soul stack. Doesn't say what the soul stats. So that's generates. 5 soul stacks. Revenant Slam does more damage. Generates. Putrid Breath. Okay, so that's my 5 soul stack spender. So we have a builder spender spec. I can do that all day. Yeah, very cool. Ooh, and we have a nice little cultist out form now. Very cool. Alright, so we have the spell bar, which we figured out. We have blocking. We're going to go with a tome in our offhand. And let's see, that's skill damage, physical damage, weapon damage, attack damage, cast speed, heal strength. Here we go, magic shield, physical resistance, and increase to our gear's defense. Very nice. Okay. We have gems and runes. These are, again, they're just like very simple stat blocks that you can put into gear that has sockets. We don't have any of that, so it's not a problem. And then we kill the skeleton that they gave us. Very cool. And see how we only take damage from our energy shield as opposed to our regular one. There's waystones. You're familiar with these, I'm sure. Mob farms are not allowed in the game. They have positional related nerfs. There are heart containers like there are in Terraria. Hack and Slash has a lot of like loot that you kind of have to sift through. And the auto salvage feature is going to be very helpful for that. So yeah, that's the prologue, the simplest part of the game. Thinking that that is our stuff on that front. Yeah. Alright, so then I will go back to Hack and Slash, go to my talents, spend my talents on magic skill damage. Okay. Yeah. A Weapon Master. Very cool. A nice little temporary map. And then Warlock goes Acid Blast. Alright. And that's 12% poison chance with, so it's 21% chance to poison right now. And then we don't have a support gem yet, but I'm sure we'll find some off of somebody or somewhere. Okay, so this is kind of just the first chapter. I'm gonna definitely do more of it, and I'm hoping that you'll watch it. I mean, I understand you're probably busy with work and stuff, but this is a thing that I am gonna work on until at least chapter 3. So we'll see what works there. There is the quest here. So we have our training arc where we kill some things. We get I guess a map or something like that. But the act boss I want to beat is going to be Captain Cornelia's locker, because Captain Cornelia is the boss that I want to look at, and they have a bunch of different kinds of professions, which is going to be cool. I guess I'm just going to kind of go storage solutions. We have professional hoarder. I'm not sure what that's about. So too many chests, barrel drawers, interconnecting chests, on the move. Very cool. Other hobbies. Doggy talents, hunting tools. Die. Obtain a zombie gateway. Die 25 times. Die 50 times. Die 100 times. Kill 100 mobs. Kill 5,000 mobs. Catch every kind of fish. I'm gonna fish the fuck out of this shit. I love fishing. Repeatables. Rewards. Ascendancy. Those will be cool. I guess the 4th ascendancy point is the epilogue quests. So I will get 2 ascendancy points as part of my quest. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to hear from you again.